All right. One of the themes that we've identified so far in the book is obviously the theme of capitalism, which we find is very strong within all of the main characters, such as Dagny, Reardon, D'Anconi, and Wyatt. And the abilities that they have are unlike much of the general public, and it allows them to tackle things that many people would assume to be impossible or very time consuming. And one of the things that most characterize them is their risk taking and how they don't take anyone else's opinion into fact. Or into consideration, because they believe that their knowledge and their abilities in the fields that they study are going to supersede that of anyone else, and so they ride along this to accomplish the goals that they have, and then once they accomplish these goals, they don't bask in their glory and are proud of themselves. If not, they tackle the next subject, which only furthers capitalism and their ability to make more money than the average person.
It's good. Yeah, they don't ever relish in their glory, so to speak. Like you were saying, they just continue on to the next. Reardon, he when he does something really well, he has so many different industries, and when he's done with not done but successful in one, he takes on another one, and he's very innovative in everything that he does. So that's kind of what you were talking about, and yeah.
Well, it's that whole idea of abilities and how they push capitalism, and how, speaking of you guys now, okay, and how, for example, Wyatt, and how he invented that new way of drilling that was going to get oil from the shale that everyone thought was impossible, or how Reardon had Reardon metal and made that new bridge completely because no one else could do it before. Yeah. It's that idea that the abilities push capitalism, which should, in effect, push competitors, and that, keeps the economy going. But in this story, no one wants to risk take because they don't want to get the blame if the risk fails. Yeah. So that's why all the people who feel entitled to have money or success end up going off the pockets of the people that actually do risk take and have the ability.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with Dagny doesn't care what anybody tells her because she's going to build the railroad whether everybody says it's unsuccessful or not. This is going back to I think the middle-ish part one or whatever, when she builds that whole railroad, even though everybody tells her not to, and she just completely cuts off from Transcontinental, and she does it her own way, and she says I'm going to do what I want to do, and she says that she pretty much is putting all the risk on herself, and James is I don't want to do whatever, and then it was super successful. He takes all the credit, and it's we were talking about it earlier in the book, and we found a page. I don't know what number is it. It's 240 something, and he says that James says I came up with the plan pretty much. I'm taking all the credit for the new railroad when really you did nothing. You just sat and watched Dagny, who risked everything, and Reardon, who put all his money into this, and you're taking all the credit and success, when just really angered me.
Yeah, when Cheryl compliments him and says, he kept the secret, the newspaper keeps a secret, and he should be so proud, and I feel James makes it a point to say
show. He has appearance.
Yeah, but he's also saying oh no, it's not that big of a deal. He's trying to make it be something that's not he's trying to take away emphasis from it, kind of to be I don't know. I thought that part was weird when he was it's not that wonderful. How do you feel? And she's oh, I feel great. I feel awesome. I feel amazing. And he's I don't feel that great. It's not that big of a deal.
She's not giving them the what's it called? Something they deserve. Yeah.
I think this subject leads into the subject of people taking blame in this huge complex of industries that's going on at this time, because it seems no one really wants to take the blame for anything if a big failure occurs. Mm-hmm. Only Dagny or Reardon are willing to take the blame for anything any ventures that don't go their way. But going back to their abilities, they know that with the knowledge and the persistence that they have, that they're going to succeed at anything. And along the way, if they fail at any aspect, they have accomplices or acquaintances such as Reardon or Yanconi or Wyatt, who have the resources to help them along the way, so that in the end their business only grows and helps everyone instead of just themselves.
Yeah, and like with the blame thing, you can see such a difference in like the characters where Dagny is like, okay, this might not be my fault that the economy's failing, but like she's like, how can I fix it? And when she was trying to find leads about the new engine, and she goes to talk to the guy who's writing his own biography, and he's like kind of a loser. He goes, oh, I made these investments, but it's not my fault, and everything failed, but it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Like, how can you blame me for that? And it's like, it is your fault. But everyone, that side of the society is kind of like pushing the blame off of themselves. They can't like take anything.
I'm pretty impressed by all these people that like do all these things and like in the society that they live in, like this fictional like they just keep like the government just keeps giving them stuff to deal with, like they keep on like fighting with it, like, and it just shows like I would have probably left. I would have moved away by now.
Well, that happened to a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's only like Hank and Dagny.
Yeah,
at this
but like
point.
they're continuing to like fight, and like I just want to see like, are they ever gonna give up? Like, are they ever just gonna be like, okay, pretty much F this
Most of
society?
them have given up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
all the
all
other
of them
industrialists, yeah, they're
disappeared.
like disappearing or retiring.
Where did they
whatever.
go? Like literally, is Dagny gonna go join them later? Like that's what I'm really wondering. What if at the end
I
she
kind of
just
wanted
like
to.
goes,
It's like,
I'm gonna go.
like all these people are just giving her more and more like stuff to deal with. Like I want her to leave. Like in the beginning, I wrote I think in a reaction like, oh, like I think Dagny's gonna like save them. Like this, like they need an economic like rebirth because like I feel like even all the things that she's like trying to like put into the society is like it's gonna get better. Like they're all gonna listen to her. But no, they're not. They just keep on giving her all this stuff, and it's just like they don't understand.
And it seemed like there was some sort of hope when Alice Wyatt was talking to Dagny and Hank, and he was like, oh, Colorado's going to be the second Renaissance. Like, so much industry is going to happen here and all this, and it's because of your railroad that you've made the second step into innovation. And then all these taxes come along.
Yeah,
and
it's
that
like
idea
foreshadowing like a
completely
good
ruined.
thing. Yes.
Right, no, well, it's like it keeps happening in the story that they build up hope, or Rand builds up hope and just destroys it.
Yeah.
Like every single time something starts going well, it gets crushed. The politics, and that goes back to her. I feel like it goes back to her upbringing and living in a communist society, and how she has an extremely deep hatred of it. You can see it in the book. She's pro-capitalist. She wants zero government, and she basically sees like you don't have the ability. It's like economic Darwinism. You don't have the ability. It sucks to suck.
Yeah.
Definitely true.
I think it's people like
trying
that.
to get that point across.
I think it's people like that who probably more so progress the economy and the standard of living of everyone in the country more than those people who are not willing to stick their neck out and kind of do something that's never been done before. It speaks to the character that each of these individuals have, and it all goes back to the abilities that they have and the abilities that they know that are special. So they take advantage of these things, and by taking advantage of it, I don't really think it's selfish of them, because in the end, when they better the economy and they have more jobs for everyone, it'll only benefit everyone and the economy as a whole, not just themselves.
That's a really ideal thought, though, the whole job creator aspect.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they try to implement in multiple countries, including this one. And what ends up happening is the people that get all the profit are extremely greedy, and they don't create new jobs. Well, it's kind of happening in the book because Hank and Dagny, they are I don't know if they'd say greedy, like in a negative term, but they do want the profit, they do want the money, and they do create jobs, but they only create jobs for those who deserve it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole ideal aspect of the book, because it's not really realistic if you think about it.
Yeah.
There's no way it's gonna happen.
We need like a happy medium, I think.
Yeah.
But more happy medium towards Dagny, for me at least, in my perspective, Dagny and Hank's opinion about it. I don't agree with like any of the laws that they implemented. So.
Right.
I think it's like so ironic that like James and all of them are like, oh, don't you have any social responsibility? Like we're trying to help international communications, and it's like, but you're doing that by destroying your own country and destroying like international economy.
And
It's like
Hank's brother, he's like, oh, like I help everybody, like I'm so like selfless, or whatever. But you take all the money from your brother.
Yeah, it's
you
like
don't work, like, and now you need a job, like.
And they automatically expect Hank to give him the job because it's like, it's a family first. And Hank's like, my company's going to go down if I give him the job. So, no.
It's like a sense of self-righteousness and also at the same time a false sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
Because they all think they deserve something,
But they don't
and they all think they're better than them.
They don't have the skill set. All they would be doing is in any case taking a step back for the company, because they don't have the skill set to accomplish anything or make output greater or make any sort of benefit to the company. So why would the company invest their money and their time in that person? It doesn't make any sense at all.
You take the job away from the person that could actually do it well.
Exactly.
And Hank's mom, when she went to ask Hank to like give his brother a job, she said something like, Hank was like, he has no ability, and his mom was like, oh, giving a man with ability a job doesn't say a lot about you. It's giving a man with no ability a job. That's like what's good. And Hank was like,
It's
no,
that makes no
that's
sense
ridiculous.
whatsoever.
I feel like there's no logic to, but at least in my opinion, there's no. In some of these characters' opinions, like they say things that I'm just like, that doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Even if I look at it the complete opposite way, like from the other person's opinion, it still doesn't make sense.
Yeah. They're
They're
like deluding themselves.
Well,
Yeah.
It's like the
they're
whole
all
thing.
delusions.
The whole part of charity, but like at the same time, it's charity to those who don't really need it. Like there's a difference between, for example, Bill Gates giving like health and food to people in Africa versus Hank giving the job to his brother. Because the brother's living comfortably, he uses Hank's money, but he still keeps asking for handouts.
Yeah.
So it's not only and like needing something, but at the same time not being the person who provides that need.
But Hank's brother has the opportunity to like make himself actually get the skills to get a job. People in Africa don't really have these opportunities because clearly they're in Africa and their society isn't exactly as developed as ours, so they don't have as many opportunities as someone here who is just sitting on his ass. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have the opportunities, like you can very well get a job, like become educated, go out and do it. Don't expect your brother to give you a job.
And that's part of the point of them thinking they're better for not being the person who creates those jobs. Like they're asking for jobs from the people who they despise, who think are greedy and think all about profit, but it's those guys who would provide the jobs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.